What's happening, family? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with my people. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people that just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. That's all. Okay? Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT. The mayor of YouTube. Salute. Welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Box Storian. This is the Thursday afternoon edition. Yeah, Thursday. Can't talk enough about how fast this time is going by. Mike Grimm in the building. Salute, Mike. Welcome aboard. We pulled right up on the bumper of another weekend. Now remember, tomorrow is Friday, Profile Day. And the profile this week is fitting. It's the Eastern assassin himself, Larry Holmes. And talking about jabs today, Larry Holmes, the jab, he had a good one. Yes. So we're talking about the jab today and Larry Holmes tomorrow. What a coincidence. Probably the best jab in boxing history. The Eastern Assassin. That's a pretty good one right there on the thumbnail too. Muhammad. Yeah. That's a pretty good jab. The Vladimir Klitschko had a good one. Remember how he used to turn it at the end up kind of like a jab hook. Remember he'd throw it and turn it, come in with it. Yeah, kind of like a jab hook. Only one I ever seen throw it like that, before or since then. Floyd, of course, talking about jabs. You got to mention Floyd. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sugar Ray. Joe Louis. Some of them old timers had some good ones now. Yeah. Joe Louis had a good one, but we're going to talk about it. We also had Pro Box last night. We're going to get into that today. Yeah, a little. Just to let you know what happened. A lot of people sleep on that Pro Box. They downplay it. A lot of people make jokes about people being on Pro Box. The Pro Box is where you get your best fights. Because those guys are trying to make it to the big time. Or better, they're trying to make it back. Because both of the guys in the main event last night, Nicholas Walters and Joe Adorno, had been to the big cards before, And those guys are fighting hard on their Pro Box, man. Got to get back to the big cards, big cards, And then the Pro Box, the announcers, you don't see one guy land 15 punches in one round and the other guy land 2, but then after the round, they just talk about the 2 one guy landed. You don't see that on Pro Box. They call it like it happened. Okay? So, yeah. If you're sleeping on Pro Box, you don't know what you're missing. Midweek boxing, if you're a true boxing fan, yeah, you wouldn't miss that good midweek boxing. And I'm going to talk about the 3 good fights. The 3 main good fights we had last night. At about 2:30. You know how I do it over here at Cast Sports, the Box Storian. If it's 2 o'clock on a weekday, you know it's Cast Sports, the Box Storian. And man, last night just started it. Tomorrow, we got the big card. I think it's from Arizona, right? The big top rank card, Oscar Valdez. Who is he fighting? Liam Wilson. Female undisputed fight on the card. Big top rank card. You know, top rank card, you see a lot of good youngsters. Because Wildfather got him. You know, he signed almost the entire last men's Olympic team. So yeah, you know, you're gonna see Emiliano Vargas on there, one of Fernando's sons. Raymond Muratalla, Richard Torres, up and coming young heavyweight fighter. Yeah, all that's tomorrow. And Sinisa Estrada, she's fighting for undisputed. Got the young lady's name she's going up against. I had it written down somewhere. I hate just saying Sinisa and not giving the other young lady her props. But that's all tomorrow night, man. Friday night. What's that, like the 4th or 5th Friday night boxing card we had this year, isn't it? Yeah. They giving it to us this year. Yeah, she's fighting Yocasta Valle. That's who Sinisa is fighting. Yeah. And we had a couple Thursdays. So yeah, this boxing is really been good the last couple of years, man. We got the Face of Boxing on the schedule now, facing Frank Martin. Yeah. So they can't say he hasn't faced he only faces flat-foot Mexican fighters anymore after that. But they'll come up with some excuse after he flattens Frank Martin. The haters will come up with something. But Frank Martin wasn't something. They'll think of something. They always do. But you know, when the haters come for you, that's when you know you're doing good, right? So come on, haters, come get me. That's when you know you're doing well. When the haters come, I can't wait till they get here, man. You know, where you at, haters? Yeah. Because when the haters come, you know you're doing well. So I can't wait till I get my turn and they start hating on me. TP, Gregory Pratt, hashtag JBT, aka GP, is in the building. Salute Gregory Pratt. That's a big time JP member, hashtag JBT member and supporter. Don't forget, we got another meeting Saturday at 1 too. We still got some positions to be filled. I'm on the recruitment team. Yeah. Me and Jay Hardcore, we are in charge of going out, bringing new people into the JBT. Mike Masick in the building. Salute Mike Masick. Mike Masick is here, everybody. What's up, Mike? Welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Box Dorian. It's all about the jab today. All about the jab, man. And we're going to talk about the jab, how to throw it, discuss a little about it, and then I got 10 guys that had exceptional jabs in their arsenal. We'll talk about them, okay? All of that's today, Thursday, March 28th, on the Box Dorian. I'm going to lead you right on up to the voice doorstep. And I'm going in there too. I'm going in past the doorstep. I'm going in the building and listening to the voice, right? Not just going to lead you up to the doorstep. I'm going right on up into the building with y'all. Okay, that's that 4. But meantime, we got Cast Sports, the Box Dorian. We're going to get into Pro Box about 2:30. About 5 or 10 minutes. Give a few more people time to get in. They coming. Like Lonnie Lee, Al Booker, the king of the casuals, Remo, the king of the hardcore casuals, I guess you can call it. Or the casual hardcore. Yeah. Yeah, just now facts this morning up on the J Hardcore's panel. Maybe he wanted to get off. Remo was going so hard. The king of the casuals. Right? I don't even tell him stop no more. I just embrace it. Yeah, he wanted to be called the king of the casuals. Yeah, let him. But we know better. Yeah. GP. We keep you informed on what's going on, bro. You know, we got to handle your business, man. Yeah. But you still a big time member and supporter of the JBT, you know. Yeah. We I think Jay Hawker was taking the notes. We got to assign somebody to take the minutes of the meeting. We need somebody to do that too. We need a secretary. We also still need an accountant, somebody to handle the financial dealings, that because we're going to get big, man, and need somebody to handle the money. Okay, so we still got a couple positions to be filled. Well, that was the first meeting last week, so we're just getting off the ground, man. Yeah, but yeah, GP, we know you got to handle your business on Saturdays. That's one of your big days, bro. We know that. So yeah. But yeah, we always had the meetings, the minutes of the meeting, you can always review them. And we're going to keep you posted. Got to keep GP posted. He's an integral part of this organization, Gregory Pratt, a.k.a. GP. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah. But how's everybody doing this Thursday afternoon? Kind of miserable day in Baltimore. A little cold rain, a little nagging rain. Either pour down and get it over with or just stop. Come on, man. You know how a little nagging rain, a little chilly rain just keep coming down? I'd rather just have the downpour, get it over with, But it's all good. I work inside. Like right now, I'm working inside, so yeah. Being boxing news in the building. What's up? I told you my people coming. That's why I wait till 2:30. Give them time to get you. What's up, being boxing news? All about the jab today, bro. Yeah. We all subscribe to being boxing news in here. Radio channel. But it's all about the jab today. And then don't forget the profile tomorrow is going to be Larry Holmes, the Eastern assassin himself. One of the best jabs in the business. Larry Holmes could snap that thing. He could paw with it. You got the word. I've been saying it all morning. He could hurt you with it too. Larry Holmes said that jab was a thing of beauty. Yes, it was. Change speeds on it. He could do it all with that jab. And I would say Thomas Hearns was number 2 in jabs. Now, I like Vladimir Klitschko because what I was just saying, how he used to turn it. As he threw it and would end up like a hook jab. He's the only one I ever see do that, like Vladimir Klitschko used to do it. Turn it almost like a hook jab, yeah. Set up his heavy artillery. He had a great one. But we're going to get into it. The jab. And talk about this pro box from last night. Good God, good 3 fights. Yeah. Them judges was all over the place, man. What is wrong with these judges? How can 3 judges sit there watching the same fight? And one judge had almost a draw. I forget which fight it was, but I'm going to get into it in a minute. But it was like 95-94, right? Then another judge gives the guy 1 round. How can 2 judges supposedly using the same criteria sit there and watch the same fight and judge it so different? Now, they not expected to all 3 have the exact same scores, but how can one have it almost a draw, the other one just give one of the guys 1 round? And come on, man. Yeah, they were all over the place last night, those judges was. Wow. I don't know what it is. Is it training? Is it cheating? What is it? But yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it, Mike? Those judges was all over the place on them cards, man. You see the one where one judge almost had it a draw. It was like 95-94. And another judge gives one of the guys 1 round. They watching the same fight. It's supposed to be using the same criteria to judge it. How can they look at it so different? It's crazy. Well, like I said, you don't expect them all to be exactly the same, but not that much different like that. One almost a draw, another one gives one guy 1 round, almost gives one guy a shutout. That's from one extreme to the other. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But that's boxing. And like I told you, We love it, but we can still complain about it, you know. But yeah, this is a big weekend. It started last night with Pro Box, and it continues tomorrow night. The card, I think it's Arizona, right? Oscar Valdez and Liam Wilson. I think it's Arizona, Phoenix, and then Saturday, the big one, Tim Zhu and Sebastian Fundora, Rolly and the Pitbull. That's the one I'm waiting for, Rolly and Pitbull. That's going to be fan friendly for as long as it lasts. I don't think it's going the distance. I got Rolly. Now I know Pitbull. Well, he will have to work his way, but I know he's used to it because he's used to being the smaller guy, and a lot of times he's giving up a lot of height and reach. He's used to that. But how many punchers has he faced like Rolly? Rolly can punch, and Pitbull is quarter lot working his way in. So, I just got Rolly catching him with something hot coming in, man. And Pitbull hitting that mat. Now, how is his chin gonna be? That's what the key to me. How was Pitbull's chin? You know, the type of fight he fights, he had to have a good chin because, you know, he likes that inside pressure type fighting. So you're gonna get hit a lot, right? So yeah. But it's the thing about it is it's happening in 2 days. The talk is almost over. But it's the final press conference today or something, and then the weigh-in is tomorrow. Well, the weigh-in for the fight, the card Friday should be today, right? Oscar Valdez and Denise Estrada, the undisputed fight. Yeah, that should be today. So that's tomorrow night. Yeah. So yeah, that is today. And we got the final presser for the Tim Zhu Towering Inferno card will be today, right? Yeah. So yeah. I should have made a slide presentation on these 3 Pro Box fights, but I didn't. But we're going to talk about them right now because it's 2:25. Couple more minutes. We go. Lonnie Lee is coming. Al Booger, Remo, they coming. Yeah. But everybody ready for the weekend because you better get ready because we're right back up on it. These weeks are flying by, man. I remember I was just saying, how was your weekend? It was Monday. Now it's Thursday. In a couple other half hour, so it's going to be Friday, right? Just do boxing. The voice, told you. I'm taking you right up to his doorstep. And then I'm going in the building with you. I'm not stopping at the doorstep. I'm going into the building. Listen to the voice build. Salute to Just Do Boxing. The voice. 4 p.m. weekdays. Okay. That's where we're going after this. We finished talking about these jabs and stuff we're going to do today. Right? We going on over there. Yeah. And then 8 o'clock. And we're going to take a little break. Just to give us a little break in between him. And then we're going to go back into the hangout again and hang out. And then we're going to go ahead and listen to the closer. Shut it down for the night. And remember, you might catch not one, you might catch both of the Face the Boxing coaches over there with the closer at 9. Kenny Ellis and Calvin Ford might be in there. Where else? You're going to get them on a regular basis in a chat on YouTube. Nowhere else but the Mighty Rise podcast, man. In the JBT. That's where you're going to find them in a given night. Both of them. The Face the Boxing's coaches in there. Chopping it up. Come on, man. Is that JBT fire or what? Where else on YouTube? You're going to find the Face of Boxing coaches on a regular basis and they're chopping it up with the chat, man. Nowhere else but in the JBT. Just boxing talk, y'all. Let's do some pro box talk real quick. Then we're going to get into these jabs. Just 3 fights. That's all I'm going to talk about. I think it was some earlier fights that they don't show or something. I don't know. But I just saw 3. Okay. Nicholas Walters versus Joseph Adorno. 2 fighters that's been on some big cards. Remember, Nicholas Walters' last loss was Lomachenko on a top-ranked card, remember? Not only his last loss, his only loss. His one and only loss. So, with that win last night, Walters looking to get back, into some big fights. That was like a crossroads fight for those 2 guys. Adorno, I guess he got to go back to do a little rebuilding or something, Yeah. But Walters, now he was a former featherweight world champion. This was at I think what was this, lightweight? Yeah. Or man, I know it was for the North American Continental stuff. There's some kind of title in front of championship to get some sanctioning fees off these guys. Yeah. But I'm trying to check and see what weight it was. I forgot. Yeah. Joseph Adorno and it was lightweight. North America, WBA Continental America's lightweight title. What is that? They got the North America, the Continental, just all to get some sanctioning fees and make up titles. I guess they're gonna have the South America Continental title next. But anyway, Walters, he was a former featherweight world champion. He won a commanding unanimous decision over Adorno. After an uneventful first round, Walters took control of the center of the ring and began establishing his jab and used it to keep Adorno away, having success with the jab for the entire fight. Right? Adorno was game, but Walters was just a class above him and cruised to the win. Now this is what I'm talking about. One judge had it 95-94, right? One judge had it 97-92. One judge had it 98-91. How can 2 men sitting or whatever, 2 judges sitting there watching the same fight have it so different? One almost had it a draw. Gave it to Walters by 95-94. Another one only gave Adorno 1 round. Come on, man. I told you these judges are all over the place, and it's happening all the time. Wow. But anyway, Walters goes to 29-1, 1 draw, 22 knockouts. That only loss coming to Loma, remember? And Adorno drops to 18-4, 2 draws, 15 knockouts. Then Starling Castillo, well, I guess Jesus Sriracha was the next one. Castillo took a close split decision win over Sriracha. The judges was crazy again. This was the code name. Now, it was a very good scrap. It was 50-50 coming in, and it didn't disappoint us. Back and forth. And Castillo pulled it out, close split decision. The judges, 2 had it. One had it 98-92, and for Castillo. The other one had it 99-91 for him. And for one had it 96-94 for Sriracha. Now, how can 2 judges see a fight so different? One judge gives Sriracha only 1 round. The other judge gives him the fight. Oh, ain't that crazy? Now, these 2 judges supposed to be using the same. Now, like I said, they're not going to have the exact same scores, but come on, man. One judge gives the man only 1 round. One judge gives him the fight. Come on, man. That's totally ridiculous. How can 2 people sitting there using the same criteria to judge the fight see it so differently, man? That's ridiculous. You hear me? One judge gave him only 1 round, and the other one gave him the fight. It's crazy. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. But anyway, he only got it on 1 judge, so the other 2 gave it to Castillo. He wins it. He goes to 19-1 with 1 draw, 13 knockouts. Sriracha, it was only his 2nd loss, 13-2, 1 draw, 11 knockouts. Then the last one was Omar Ramirez versus Clarence Booth. Booth is just like I don't know what you call him, but that was his 10th loss. This was in junior welterweight, by the way. I think that Steel and Sriracha was junior lightweight, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I wrote it down when I was doing the preview yesterday, so let me find it. Gotta let y'all know. That was they were super lightweight, 140. Okay. Now this one, Booth and Juarez, they were junior welterweight, 140s. Yeah, junior welterweight, super lightweight, same thing. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz and More in the building. Salute. Well, Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz and More. Y'all like history, get on over to Bruce Gas too. Because I told you, that's where the boxtorian goes to get his history, over with Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz and More. Salute, Bruce Gas. There's Remo. Hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. Hashtag JBT. And you know what? I wish we had Remo every day, but you gotta look at the positive in everything. The fact that it ain't every day, I don't have to follow behind him every day, because them Wednesdays is tough following that hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. Well, maybe it's a good thing I ain't got to follow behind that every day. Wow. I might just go off the air, man. It's rough doing it once a week. Imagine coming on behind that every day, man. Woo-wee. That's fire, them fire shows. So yeah, that's the positive in him only being once a week. All of them will have to follow him once a week. Right. Okay. But Pro Box, the last fight, Castile Juarez, it wasn't even a fight. He dropped Booth twice on the way to a one-sided, wide decision win. The fight was never in doubt. You know, Juarez took control early and dominated the entire way. And Juarez goes to he won 98, 90, 98, 90, 99, 89. Stewart shutout. He goes to 15-2 with 5 knockouts. Booth drops to 21-10, 13 knockouts. Booth was like a regular on Showbox. You know, regular loser on Showbox. He fought, I think his last fight was against Keyshawn's brother, Calvin. Yeah, back in December. Yeah, he lost that one too. But let's get ready to talk about these jabs. Okay? The jabs. The jab in boxing. That's the name of it today. You see the man on the screen, Muhammad Ali. My mother used to say, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali. Yeah, my mother used to watch boxing too, yeah. Crazy, isn't it? My mother, my wife. Yeah. Let me see. What am I doing? We get ready to start the jab, right? Yeah. Today is March 28th. Yeah. Well, here we go. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. We're going to. I got some stuff, little presentation about the jab, but first let's get started. Okay. Lonnie Lee coming here yet? Nope. Remo's in the building. Everybody hitting the appreciation button. You know, in the JBT, the like is the appreciation button. But okay, now, sure, the left hook is a sexier punch as they come. The uppercut is the Showtime punch to some. And if you've ever seen a fighter throw a straight right with bad intentions, you can fall in love with that punch fast, right? But the jab is arguably the most important and underrated punch in boxing, because the jab does everything, right? It can distract your opponent, dictate the pace with it, stun your opponent with it, and set up combination or big power shots from your other hand, right? It can control range, you can feint with it, frustrate, wear down, and when timed and placed properly, you can even knock your opponent out with the jab. Seen it done before. I've seen Bud knock Earl down with it, remember? Yeah. In very rare occasions, though, a well-placed jab can even lead to a knockout. Now, throughout the history of the sport, many great boxers have tactfully utilized their jabs to outbox their rivals and enter the pantheon of ring icons. Yes, the jab is boxing's bread and butter punch, right? Come back here, I need you. Okay, jab, the jab, boxing's most important punch. Plain and simple. There's no two ways to it. Now, in boxing, no means of attack is quite as effective as the jab, right? That's a simple strike to perform, and it opens the door for other shots. That's what makes it the most important punch in boxing, right? Now, it takes very little to no energy to throw. And with the jab being the closest to the target, it's usually the fastest to land, right? No matter what stance you're standing in, orthodox or southpaw, jab is always the closest to your target. So naturally, it's the fastest punch to land. Now, a good jab is important for a number of reasons. It will help you win rounds by outscoring your opponent, as well as interrupting their rhythm and occupying their vision. And also, the jab can be used as a way to create, maintain, and close the distance between you and your opponent. Now, the power in the jab comes from timing, speed, and accuracy, as opposed to the brute force required of many other punches, right? Now, although unlikely to cause a knockout or any kind of palpable damage, now unless it is repeatedly landed, the jab is a great way to feint and gauge your opponent's reaction. Yeah. They help you to respond to how they help you to predict how they respond to a further attack. The feint, yeah. Additionally, the jab is a good way to find your range and dictate the pace of the fight. The jab is a shot that can be thrown even if you are not in range, and you can still distract your opponent with it when you're not in range and keep them guessing, right? Now, jabbing to the arms and gloves, that has a way of flustering your opponent and causing them to panic, making them more likely to put themselves into a vulnerable position. Lonnie Lee in the building. What's up, Lonnie Lee? Hashtag JBT. We got one more day to go, Lonnie. Then we're on another weekend. And we got a card Friday and Saturday. Saturday is the big rollout of the Prime thing, ain't it? Saturday? That's the first one. I thought they were going to roll out with the Face of Boxing, but hey, we take what we can get. The Rise Podcast in the building, the closer, the Mighty Rise Podcast. The closer for the JBT. 9 p.m. weekdays, 12 p.m. on Sunday. Talking about the jab today. Where was it? Yeah, the jab, when you're hitting people on jabbing to the arms and gloves, have a way of flustering your opponent and causing them to panic. And that makes them more likely to put themselves in a vulnerable position, right? And a well-timed jab can momentarily stun your opponent. And if you can land it often enough, you can weigh them down and start causing cuts to their face. Right? Now, one important thing about it, you have to use the right technique. Okay. Now, throwing an effective jab is all about intensity, placement, and setup. Okay? It is important to balance on both feet with your hands up and your elbows in, and throw forward like a whip. Generally, you want your fist to start out vertical and twist to horizontal upon impact. Now, twisting your body is optional. Okay? Now, keep your elbows tucked in to protect your body and avoid telegraphing your punches. Keep your elbows in. There's always a possibility of, what's coming back at you. Always got to keep that in mind, Now, when throwing your jab, make sure you fire your shoulder forward as you twist. That creates a nice snap to it, so that your shoulder touches your jaw, as you're throwing it. Twist, yep. That creates that snap. And also it will ensure that you get maximum reach out of the jab. Plus, your shoulder can also shield your chin for something coming back at you, Now, most fighters in boxing have their lead foot facing out in the same direction that your hips is facing, right? Allowing greater torque when stepping in. And one thing to make sure about, though, make sure you don't overextend yourself and when you're throwing a jab and put too much weight on your front foot, because you are risk throwing yourself out of position and easier to counter you, right? Now, there's some jab variations, many different types of jabs, but bear in mind that boxers and coaches use different names to describe the same jabs. Okay, depend on who you're talking to. But shouldn't be too concerned with the terminology. Instead, you just concern yourself with the right execution. Now, the step jab. Step in with your lead foot as you throw, while keeping your rear foot in place. Step with the lead foot, keep your rear foot in place. This is a clever way to close distance for a jab and get back out of the danger zone. Now, it won't have a lot of power behind it, as your legs will be further apart because you're keeping your rear foot in place. But your lead jab and your lead foot should land at the same time when stepping in. That's the step jab. Okay? Now, the power jab. The power jab requires an explosive push from the rear foot in a lunge-like motion to propel your body forward. Both feet should move forward with your body weight behind the jab. This punch is recommended when you are aiming to close the gap between your opponent and you. The power is generated will likely stun your opponent, and when thrown correctly, gives you the chance to move forward with both feet and follow up with the other hand. Then you got the pawing jab. That was a favorite of the hitman, Tommy Hearns. And that's when you leave your jab out there momentarily after throwing it. It's a great way to distract your opponent and also obscure their vision by occupying their line of sight, and can sometimes draw their hands out for defense, exposing their face, right? Now, when you're using that pawing jab, make sure you don't leave it out there too long, right? Because your opponent may parry it and counter you. You leave it out there too long. Then you got the flicker jab coming to the end. Then we're going to get into these. That's about 10 fighters we're going to talk about that had great jabs. The flicker jab. It's similar to the pawing jab, except the flicker jab is shorter and faster. Whereas you leave the pawing jab out there after you throw it, the flicker jab is shorter. You don't leave it out there like the pawn jab. And the flicker jab is usually aimed at your opponent's glove to distract them and make them shell up. Now, a good person that uses this is Vasil Lomachenko, the flipper jab, right? It's a good way to fluster your opponent. Keeps them from finding their rhythm, while simultaneously allowing you the opportunity to set up a combination of your own. It's a must-have shot, the flicker jab. Then you got the up jab. This is like halfway between an uppercut and a hook. Having your hand at a low angle allows you to roll your hips with the shot to generate power, and often catches people off guard as it comes from such a low angle, right? Carl Froch was a good person that mastered that. Backhand jab. Backhand jab is usually used when you miss a hook and kind of left off balance. It's a great way to return you to your center of gravity while also scoring a point in the process. And keep from being countered too. Make sure you land on the knuckles, as you risk being penalized if you hit with any other part of the hand, right? So when you're doing that backhand, make sure you hit with the knuckles, because in the other part, you know, the referee might get on you. Now, simple as it sounds, practice does make perfect. The more attention you pay to your jab, the more it becomes a reliable tool in the ring. Cutting down on your mistakes will also help. So ensure you are doing often that you are getting the full extension from your arm to utilize your range. Avoid leaning forward and overcommitting, as you may be knocked off balance if caught. Okay. Whatever you do, ensure you make it a habit to keep your rear hand at your jaw and return your jab to your chin after you throw it. And the main thing, try not to telegraph it before you throw it. Okay, let's talk about these. We got 10 guys that we're going to be profiling today. Okay, get my little slide presentation ready. Everybody okay? Just I'll get ready to say Friday. It's Thursday because Friday is the Eastern assassin, Larry Holmes. Yeah, I remember yesterday I saw at the end Jory said he wasn't getting the pictures. So anybody not getting the pictures, let me know, because it's part of the presentation. That's important. I want you to see the slides, man. So if you're not getting them, please let me know. I know Jory, when I was going off, I thought he said, was anybody else not getting the pictures? But I was off the air then. So yeah, please let me know. That's important. Now, we're going to have 10 guys that had great jabs in their arsenal. Okay. And the first one is going to be Floyd. There's the 28th, right? First one is going to be Floyd Mayweather. Where's Floyd Mayweather? It is Floyd Mayweather. Right there. Okay. Yeah. That's Floyd. He's first. Talking about our jabbers. Well, let me write this name down. The Rise Podcast is in the building, the closer. I write all the names down. Got the big ones in here. The big channels. Rise Podcast. Bruce Gas, Just Do. Got Remo. Be in Boxing News. All these big, humongous channels. Listen to Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. Okay, Floyd Mayweather. Now, Floyd Mayweather Jr., that is. Now, we are talking about boxers that best use their jabs to excel in our sport. So, there is no way we cannot talk about the greatest boxer of the 21st century. You know who that is? After all, Floyd Mayweather's use of the jab is one of the most sublime demonstrations of how this crucial punch should be used in the first place. Floyd Mayweather. For anyone studying how to perfect the fundamentals of boxing, Floyd should be one of the first examples. Now, whether you love or hate his demeanor and or whatever his things he do out of the ring, the man knew how to throw a jab. That's for sure. There, in the later stages of his career, Floyd was forced to adapt to this fighting style. Now, while one of the everlasting features of his style was his incredible jab, we saw the best use of it in the last decade of his career. The probably the more money-made side of his career, you know. Fighting with an ultra-defensive shoulder roll style, Floyd has an incredibly accurate jab and used it as much as a deterrent and precursor to drawing counter opportunities as it was to gauge distance and judge range. Floyd Mayweather, master of the jab. I think I can safely say Floyd was a master of the jab, right? Oh yeah, no doubt. Okay, next up is Vladimir Klitschko. Now this is not no best the worst or worst the best. This is just 10 good people. They had excellent jabs. Vladimir Klitschko. See, I think he's throwing. Remember how he used to throw his and like turn it, so it would end up kind of like a hook jab. See there? Yeah, he's the only one I ever seen do that. Before since, yeah, he had like a hook jab. And so we're seeing Vladimir Klitschko's accurately executed jab connect with someone's face. It made me think the word sledgehammer. Yeah. Had a great jab. Vladimir's jab is not only accurate and quick for his size, but it's also a knockout punch. Remember? He can put you down with a jab. To sum it up, Vladimir has 2 power punches, the leading right hand and his ordinary default jab. When any given opponent is gun shy, they are doomed before they or anyone watching the fight realize. Throwing a jab depletes much less stamina. Yep, said it before. Uses much less energy to throw the jab. And with Vladimir Klitschko's extraordinary powerful jab, he can throw power shots all night long with both hands. Vladimir Klitschko. Next jabber is Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard. Another all-time great and fantastic jab thrower is the well-known Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, he was a master of versatility in the boxing ring. Now, he used the up jab. Remember I talked about that? The up jab, like a hook jab. I mean, like a hook uppercut type. Yeah, Sugar Ray was famous for that. And that showed his boxing IQ and adaptability using that up jab. Leonard's jab was fast, precise, and served as both an offensive and defensive tool. Okay? He could set up powerful combinations with that jab, or he could keep you and maintain his distance with it. Offensive and defensive too. And Sugar Ray's ability to change strategies mid-fight, using the lead hand as a pivot, That's made him a boxing legend. That move right there. Sugar Ray Leonard. The next jabber will be the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Joe Louis. There he is, the Brown Bomber. Joe Louis. Now, he was the heavyweight champion of the world from 1937 to 1949, 12 years. Every year of the decade of the 40s. Remember, the 25 straight title defenses, 23 of them stoppages. You know, like I say, you gotta, not just 25 title defense, you gotta look inside of them to see how amazing that run was, man. Only 2 people went the distance of that 25, right? 23 stoppages, 15 of them inside of 5 rounds, 6 of them in the first round. And the man was fighting sometimes 5 to 6 times a year. You know, sometimes back-to-back months. That was just an amazing run. Champion for 12 years straight, man. Had an entire decade that he moved, okay? And the type of things he done during that run was just amazing. There wasn't no fight, no once every year, 2 years back then, man, no. 5, 6, 7 times a year. Sometimes you might fight with this March, and you might fight again in April. That's the era he fought in. Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta. Second fight was February 5th, 1943. The third fight was February 24th, 1943. Yeah, the same year, like 3 weeks later. That's the era Joe Louis had that amazing run, 12 years as champion in. That makes it even more spectacular, okay? He was born in Alabama. He was renowned for his incredible physique, and one which gifted him a natural ability to deliver lightning-fast punches with unrivaled accuracy. Now, his jab was by no means his only weapon, or even his best weapon, but it was a devastating punch, and he knew how to use it, okay? He was known to relentlessly walk down his opponents and deliver constant power jabs, not just jabs. Louis threw power jabs, okay? Then he followed through with right crosses and hooks when the time was right. In all his time as a professional, Louis never ducked anyone and used his blinding speed and unwavering endurance to register, like I was saying, 25 title defenses, a world record, okay? 25 title defenses. And behind everything was that jab, the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Next jabber, we got some big legendary ones, man. Sugar Ray Robinson. Yeah. That's what made them legends. They had that excellent basic punch, that jab, man. You notice. Most important punch in boxing. The jab. That's one big reason why they legendary Hall of Famers. Because they had real good jabs. Now, Robinson, of course, he don't need no kind of introduction, right? His skills were so far ahead of his time that he's just impressive to watch today as he was over 50 years ago when he competed. And he competed from 1940 to 1965. Went from welterweight all the way up to light heavyweight. 3 division champions. And like I told you yesterday, he was going for a 4th division, a hit on all 3 cards, but in the 13th round, he succumbed to the heat. And he had to, it was a TKO he lost by TKO due to the heat. And also, before he went down, had to change referees earlier in the fight because the Heat got the referee first. Okay. So it was very hot that day. And yeah, that's what kept him from being a 4th-division champion. Now, he's still considered by many historians and box historians to be the greatest pound-for-pound boxer to ever lace up the gloves. I don't know how many box historians it is. I know this one agrees that he's the best pound-for-pound boxer of all time. Okay. He came from Lloyd, Georgia. He was a consummate boxer and had an incredible jab. He was judicious with the use of his jab. As any technician inside the ropes should love their jab, Sugar Ray certainly showed how to use it to maximum effect. Now, unlike a lot of other boxers, Sugar Ray was dangerous with his jab, even on the back foot. He would use the jab in any style, picking off his opponents as he went backwards, okay, and out of danger, and using it to lead them into punches, okay. Sugar Ray Robinson. We got some good jabbers on this list. Nates is the hitman. I put him second in jabs. Cat Sports, the box historian, had Larry Holmes first, and the man right there is Thomas the Hitman Hearns second. As far as all-time jabs, oh yeah. Melody Queen 27 in the building. Salute, good afternoon. It's good to see you. Welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the box historian. We're talking about jabs today. Currently talking about the man on the screen, Thomas the Hitman Hearns. I think he had the second best jab in the history of our sport, behind only Larry Holmes. You're the hitman. And the hitman's boxing ability was very underrated because of that right hand he had. He outboxed Sugar Ray Leonard 2 times. Okay. First time, told you about this before. The first time he had Sugar lead on all 3 cards in the 13th round, he got stopped. Then he outboxed Sugar Ray in that rematch, but the judges cheated him and called it a draw. So you got to have some good boxing ability to outbox Sugar Ray Leonard 2 times, but the hitman did it, okay? He had a good jab, too, which we're talking about today. Everybody all right this afternoon? Leading you right up to divorce at 4, right up to divorce doorstep. But I'm not stopping at the doorstep. I'm going in the building, too, right along with y'all, okay? Let's do boxing divorce takes over next. But right now, it's Cat Sports, the box historian. Now, Thomas Hearns is one of boxing's legendary 4 kings, okay? Now, he earned his nickname, the Hitman, for good reason. And he fought for almost 30 years, just short of 30 years, amazing. And he was the first one to win world championships in 5 different weight classes. Way before Manny Pacquiao and Amanda Serrano and them did it. You know, Manny got 8, Amanda got 7, but the Hitman had 5 way before that. He ended up with 6. The Hitman ended up with 6. Now, that would have been impossible, no doubt, without his ferocious jabbing skills. Hearns was 6'1", had a reach of 78 inches. Okay, that made him a force to be reckoned with. And one of the most effective tools in his arsenal of weapons was the pawing jab. Let's talk about the pawing jab, okay? When you put out there and leave out for a minute, you can use it to distract your opponent, right? Also use it to gauge his reactions to things, you know, like, and then hide the line of sight, get a pawing jab. Talked about that one. I was a master at that, okay? I think I said that, doing that. You know, like I said, use the measure distance, blind your opponent, distract his vision. Once he threw out his jab, he would often leave it hanging out for a second or two. That's what they call the pawing jab. And then he would step in behind it and close the gap and follow up with that lethal right hand, the hitman. Thomas Hearns. There he is. And see, like Marvin Hagler is next. And all these are legends. And what they have in common, they all had an excellent jab, which is mandatory in our sport. You got to hit a jab, man, if you're going to go places. You can try to go on there without it, but you ain't going nowhere if you don't have it. You got to have a good, you ain't got to be excellent, extraordinary, but it's got to be decent, average. You got to have a good jab, man, because that starts everything. It starts everything. I told you like 4 or 5 different variations of it. The jab is a very versatile punch. It's not just no punch, you just throw the lead hand out there. It's all this, you got this. You can feint with it, you got the pawing jab, the up jab, you know. I told you about all those jabs. And that's, it's no mistake. All these legendary fighters I'm showing you today had good jabs. It's not no accident, okay? That's one of the big reasons why they legendary Hall of Famers in the first place. That jab. Marvin Hagler is next. Marvelous Marvin Hagler it is. Another one of the 4 kings. We had 3 of the 4 kings in it. Didn't have Roberto Duran. Duran had a decent one. His boxing skills were underrated too because of his style of fighting, but he had good boxing skills too. Yes, he did, Roberto Duran. But right now we're talking about Marvin Hagler. Yeah, another one of the 4 kings. Legendary marvelous Marvin Hagler. He had it all, lethal jab included. He was a middleweight icon. Went from 73 to 87. He was middleweight champion of the world for 7 straight years. Okay, only fought at middleweight. Never went to another division. While all them other guys were jumping up and down, running through divisions, he was ruling at one division. Okay, middleweight. Not saying he couldn't have went up to light heavyweight or something and been good, but he wanted to stay at middleweight, and he stayed there and ruled it. It was his division. They had to cheat him to get the belt away from him. The Sugar Ray fight. And Sugar Ray ducked the rematch. I told you about it. Won 62 fights in his career. And he could really bang. No question about that. But what made him a force to be reckoned with was his effortless ability to switch stances and fight from either orthodox or southpaw. And he trained from both sides evenly. So regardless of which stance he was in, his jab was a weapon to worry about. And what made him even more dangerous was his ability to cut angles while jabbing, getting inside his opponent's lead foot and blindsiding them. Okay, knocked out 52 people before he retired. The marvelous one, Marvin Hagler. Okay. Next jabber. Lost my cursor. It's Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston is up next. Is whatever he just did looked like he hurt him. Sonny Liston. To this day, he was regarded as one of the most feared and ferocious men in the history of boxing. Sonny was no joke. His tough guy attitude was no act, okay? And his jab is remembered as one of the most lethal in the history of the sport, okay? Intimidating boxing. He had long arms. I think he had an 84-inch reach. They say that's the reach of somebody 7 feet tall. You know how they say about like Bud could scratch his knees without bending? Sonny probably could damn near scratch his ankles without bending. 84-inch reach, man. Wow. I think he was a little above 6 feet. Yeah. He went from 1953, boxed all the way up till he tragically died in 1970. Yeah. He was an expert in range control. often leaning into his jab for extra length and power. That's kind of unorthodox, but it was effective for Sonny. Okay. Now, when he was under pressure, he would push his jab to knock his opponent out of the danger zone. Okay. So there, he got the push jab. As well as sometimes using his jab to push his opponents off balance. Yes, Sonny was strong. His jab was perhaps best described by the trainer, legendary trainer, Angelo Dundee. It's like getting hit with a telephone pole. That's what Angelo Dundee said about his jab. Now, how Angelo know? I don't know. I don't think Angelo was ever hit by it, but he had some of his fighters was. So, yeah. Next up, the master jabber. Yeah, there he is, Larry, and he's going to be the profile lead tomorrow. Larry Holmes. Okay, don't miss that. We're going to be talking about Larry Holmes tomorrow. Okay? On the profile of the week. Ooh, lights looking good, my goodness. Is that Cast Sports? I done messed around and went on somebody else's channel. All them lights. Damn. Appreciate everybody. But Larry Holmes, from Cuthbert, Georgia, the Eastern Assassin, considered by many boxing historians to have the best jab in boxing history, and considered by Cast Sports, the box historian, to have the best jab, also to have the best jab in history. Yeah. I just said that. I believe he does. He fought from 73 to 2002. Held the WBC title from 1978 to 1983. Made 20 successful title defenses. That's the third highest all time. I believe it's behind Sonny Liston, and I know Ricardo Lopez at 22. I don't know where Julio Cesar Chavez falls in there. He's up there too. But I know Sonny Liston had 25, Ricardo Lopez had 22, and then Holmes had 20. They're third highest of all time, so Chavez must be in the teens somewhere, I guess. And all that's thanks to his jab. Thanks to that lethal jab he had, man, that great jab he had. He holds the record for the longest individual heavyweight title streak in modern boxing history. You know, that's not including Joe Louis' run. That wasn't modern boxing history. Okay. Appreciate the Queen, Melanie Queen 27, stopping through today. Now, Holmes' right hand was also a formidable force, but it was the sheer speed, power, and timing of his jabs that was his greatest asset. No doubt. That was Larry Holmes' greatest asset, that jab. Yes, it was. He was very unconventional with his left hand, constantly flicking out his jab like a whip. And he had a huge reach, and he used his substantial reach to skillfully pick off opponents from afar, catching them off guard by throwing jabs from low and side angles. He was a master at that jab, man. He worked that jab like magic. And you know, by throwing the jabs from low and side angles, he had the effect of knocking his opponents off balance and opening them up for big fight-ending right hands. Larry Holmes. Big fight-ending right hands, okay? There's the greatest, Muhammad Ali. Now, when I looked inside that Joe Louis, I looked at the 25 straight title defense, but when I looked at what he did inside of it, I started calling Joe Louis the greatest, man. Yeah, you know, I looked inside the 23 out of 25 defenses being stoppages. Only 2 went the distance. He stopped 15 of those people in the first 5, inside of 5 rounds. 6 of them in the first round. And then fighting as much as they fought back then, he did all that in that era, man. So I started calling Joe Louis the greatest, man. I'm sorry, Muhammad Ali and Muhammad Ali fans, of which I am one, but what Joe Louis did inside of them 25 title defenses was just incredible, man. Just incredible. Unmatched. And then what makes it so impressive is the era in which he did it. Okay? In the era. And like I said earlier, Joe Louis didn't duck nobody. Okay? He was in there with Rocky Marciano, the world heavyweight champion, when he was way past his prime, 37 years old. He didn't have no business in there. He got knocked out, but he was still in there. Joe Louis didn't duck nobody, man. Okay? He just didn't. Call him the greatest. Sorry, Muhammad. Well, Muhammad is on the list of jab stuff. Okay. Now, yeah, Muhammad would have to be on. You have to mention him. And he went 21 years, 1960 to 1981. That's where he competed from. And they call him the greatest. He lived up to it. Yeah, in spectacular fashion. He brought us some of the most exciting fights we've ever seen in our sport, And widely regarded as the greatest boxer of all time, Used to be by me. I think it's Joe Louis now. And he cemented his status early in his career, 1964, when he beat Sonny Liston to become the world's youngest heavyweight champion at that time, at age 22. Okay, that was the youngest at that time. It's not anymore. I think it was Mike Tyson. What was Mike Tyson, 20? Now, Muhammad had reached 78 inches. And his jab was lightning fast, man. And his jab used to cause more damage throughout the fight than all his other punches. Because he had that jab, like cutting jab, man. Would cut people up with it. And he was fast, man. He made the fundamentals look beautiful. Quick footwork, great reflexes. Just an iconic boxer, man. And beat some of the greatest heavyweights in the history of the sport. He would frustrate his opponents with his jabs, feints, and verbal. His mouth. Yeah. But at the absolute foundation of everything he would create was one of boxing's greatest jabs. Okay. I got something else for you. So let's sit on the jab, but I do have something else for you. Okay. It's called, what is it called? 10 of the greatest boxing legends and their defining skills in the time we got remaining, which is what we got remaining, Kurt Cass. 40 minutes. So let's get that in. 10 of the greatest boxing legends and their defining skills. Okay, that's interesting. And and then we got these great fights coming up, man. Tomorrow, and Saturday. I am looking forward to that, man. Let me get this up for my peoples. My people. How's everybody doing? It's Thursday. Everybody day rolling along good. With this JBT thing, man, we'll get you through it. But the boys coming up in a little over half hour. And the JBT day is just getting started. You still got 3 great shows coming after me. Of course, The Voice, then you got the Day Hardcore, then it's The Block. He's on the way around the block right now. He'll be back around it by 8 o'clock. Bringing you the Thursday hangout. Then the Ride Podcast. Won't shut it down. Of course. And we start all over again tomorrow. The new JBT day. Don't forget, we got another meeting Saturday at 1. Okay, all are welcome. We need all ideas. We trying to, well, we off the ground, but we're trying to get this thing going strong. We filled some positions. I'm a part of the recruitment team. Okay. Yeah. I'm a part of the recruitment team. Dad Sports and J Hardcore. So yeah, so let's do this. Wait a minute now. Am I on the right thing? Oh, shut up. Let me see. Bear with me for a second. I'm trying to get this together for you. 10 of the greatest boxing legends and their most defining skill. Oh, I'm sorry. I put the wrong thing in. Bear with me. Don't go away. I promise I'm going to get it right. But yeah, who y'all got started? I got rolling. I'm sorry. Pitbull just don't impress me, man. Okay? He just don't. He I can't judge on that Tank fight because the Tank had one hand and still beat him. And there's no doubt if Tank would have had both hands, he would have knocked him out. Okay? Just made a good point this morning. Tank was just starting to come around and, when it hurt his hand. Okay? I'm getting ready to give up in a minute. No, I'm not. Yeah. And then don't forget Friday, we got Oscar Valdez. I think that's in Arizona, right? Yeah, that's in Arizona. I got him to over the Towering Inferno. He shouldn't even be getting a title fight in the first place, but yeah. Senior made a good point. He was on the card, and so he was convenient to slide on into the top spot. But I still don't like it, man. It's like you don't even have to earn anything nowadays, man. You can get knocked out, and then your next fight is for the title. Come on now. Shouldn't it be like the next man up? If somebody else that won their last fight probably would be more deserving of the title than a title shot than Sebastian Fundora. I mean, goddamn, he got knocked out in his last fight. You had to bring somebody that wasn't on the card, somebody that's in shape and ready. But yeah, that's the big prime rollout. Yeah, we waiting for that one. I got it. Yeah, we waiting for that. Now, this is 10 of the greatest boxing legends and their defining skills. Okay? Yeah, that's what I say, Mike. That's what I say. I think Rolly gonna stop him. I really do. Now, boxing is a platform for superstars. It is a sport where legends are forged in the heat of battle and heroes are born. Now, for decades, many great fighters have graced the top of the ring, delighting fans with epic displays of grit, heart, and supreme skill. Each saw massive success because they had a unique style. They spent hours of hard work and dedication in the gym, honing the techniques that brought them glory on any given night. Now, in boxing, styles make fights. Each of the 10 boxing legends on this list has something unique about them, something that allows them to stand out from the pack. Now, as boxing fans, it's imperative that we understand what these legends had to offer at the height of their powers, so we can identify exactly what made them so special. Okay? So now, here are 10 of the greatest legends in boxing and their defining skill. Okay? Everybody that ran up out here gonna miss it. Too bad. That's on you. First is Mike Tyson. Okay? Mike Tyson. This is 10 of the greatest boxing legends and their defining skills. On Mike Tyson is first. Now, Mike is known popularly as the baddest man on the planet. Former heavyweight world champion. On Mike Tyson is arguably the most explosive fighter in boxing history. Okay? Arguably. I agree with that. I think he is the most explosive fighter in boxing history. Okay? Now, opponents cowered at the sight of him, mentally defeated before they even climbed into the ring. Tyson's hands were fast and powerful, the most destructive in the business, and each punch was laced with murderous intent. Right? Now, his signature peekaboo style was bestowed upon him by his legendary coach, the late Custer Mato. And Mike utilized it to great success. You know, with his gloves covering his cheekbones, while he bobbed and weaved his way into optimal punching range, Mike unloaded lightning fast hooks and uppercuts as opponents cowered up in vain. And he also, you know about the power, had tremendous power. And when his punches connected, it was usually lights out for the man in the ring with him, Mike Tyson. Okay? This is 10 of the greatest boxing legends and their defining skill. Next up is Sweet Pea. Pernell Whitaker. Okay? Ooh, these likes are looking beautiful. I appreciate my people, man. Okay, Lonnie. I appreciate you. Yeah, I saw you when I thought I saw you when you came in, Lonnie. I mentioned you. Yeah, I got you written down. Yeah. I had you written down like an hour ago, Lonnie, right around 2:30. Yeah, I know you've been in here. Lonnie Lee. I was looking for you about 2:30. You told me to get up at 2:30. I've been wrote you down, Lonnie, like an hour ago. Yeah. You didn't hear? I mentioned you. Okay, next is Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. What was his defining skill? Talk about Sweet Pea. Now, boxing isn't just about explosive offense, right? The other half of the equation is defense. On the other end of the spectrum sits the late, great Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, one of the finest defensive fighters of all time, no doubt. Sweet Pea was an amazing tactician. He moved like a general in the ring, maneuvering his foes almost effortlessly like pawns on a chessboard. Yeah, he had the greatest ring generalship I ever seen with Sweet Pea, man. With Sweet Pea. Better than Floyd's. And that's high praise there, man. Yeah. He moved you around the ring. You didn't even know you was being moved. Put you right where he wanted you. But aside from his superior fight IQ and technical ability, he was also naturally gifted. Sweet Pea offered otherworldly reflexes, the likes of which we rarely see in the sport and probably will rarely see again. His snake-like defense allowed him to be elusive, evading an opponent's punches by mere inches. The genius southpaw moved his head fluidly as he dodged incoming fire like Neo in the Matrix. D for the win in the building. Look, D for the win. We are talking about some boxing legends and their defining skills, like Mike and that intimidation. Now we're talking about Sweet Pea and that defense. How did he make people miss and move people around the ring and put them right where he wanted them? And people didn't even realize they were being maneuvered around the ring into certain positions, but Sweet Pea used to do it. Okay? But salute D for the win. Without a doubt, Sweet Pea was one of the hardest fighters to hit clean. No doubt in history. in history. Okay. Boxing legends and their defining skills. Let's go down some. Next up is the great Jack Johnson. Okay. There's Jack. I think that's Jess Willard he's fighting, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Jack Johnson. What was Jack Johnson's defining skill? Heavyweight hard hitter. Jack Johnson is a legendary name in boxing. He was the first ever black heavyweight world champion in the history of the sport. Not black champion, heavyweight, because George Dixon was the first black world champion. George Dixon was the first black athlete to win a championship in any sport. I think it was like 1903, something like that. But Jack Johnson was the first black heavyweight champion. Okay. And he undoubtedly one of the most dominant fighters of all time. Okay, I was wondering where that music was coming from. It was my phone. Johnson developed his own fighting style, which was unconventional in his time, right? He employed a more defensive approach to fighting, which was not typically the norm during this era. You know, during this era, they come out there, they towed the mark and went at it, you know. Wasn't no lot of defense back then. But Johnson, you know, strategically, Johnson would initiate his offense early, but then let his opponents fatigue as the fight wore on. He then turned up the aggression late in his fights and capitalized on his foes' weaknesses. But what made Johnson so special was his overall charisma. Johnson had a penchant for showmanship, and he knew how to dazzle a crowd. He was also one of the first black boxers ever to reach celebrity status with an assortment of sponsorships heading into his fights. Okay? Jack Johnson. Next, 10 of the greatest boxing legends and their defining skills. Roy Jones Jr. is next. Roy Jones Jr. Multiple-time world champion and former pound-for-pound king, Roy Jones Jr. is one of the most naturally talented fighters of all time. He moved with a champion swagger in the ring, confident and foreboding with his technique. The former Olympic silver medalist was an incredible combination of speed, power, and finesse. For many years in his prime, Jones was at the top of boxing's food chain, and he dominated opponents with a unique sense of style. But more than his flamboyance was his amazing fighting skills, especially his punching repertoire. Jones was famous for being able to unleash several lead left hooks, sometimes 3 in rapid succession, a technique not common among today's hard fighters. For that, he earned the nickname Captain Hook. Yep, Captain Hook. Boxing legends and their defining skills. Makes Manny Pacquiao, the Pac-Man, young Pac-Man. The man is former 8th Division boxing world champion, of course. Arguably the greatest Filipino fighter to ever climb it. Of course, you got Flash Eladay, Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa was the first Filipino champion, so yeah. That's why they say arguably, because you did have some other great Filipino champions, not just Manny now. But this era, no doubt, is Manny. But all time, it still might be Manny, but there's Pancho Villa and Flash Eladay can make a good argument for them too. Okay. Now, his whirling dervish style has laid waste to many massive names, including Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, even the great Arthur De Hoya. Many of Manny's opponents had difficulty dealing with his particular brand of speed, power, and relentlessness. And he brought all that speed and power through 8 weight classes with him. That's where the PED talk came in, but it was allegedly never proven to break any rules. So hey, he deserved all he gets. 8 division champion. Now, while Pacquiao had a variety of attacks in his toolbox, his bread and butter has always been the double jab, straight combination, double jab, straight combination. That left hand from the southpaw stance was problematic with arch rival Marquez, once comparing it to a pistol bullet, fast and deadly. Okay. Boxing legends and their defining skills. Next legend, Floyd Money Mayweather. Oh, I hit the wrong side. Floyd Money Mayweather. Oh, God. Yes, what did you do? Get off of there. Yeah. Next legend, Floyd Money Mayweather. Okay? There's Floyd again. Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. Now, another master defensive tactician. Come on, stop. Excuse me, I don't know what the fuck happened. Bear with me for a minute. Come on. There we go. Yeah, another master defensive tactician and former box office king, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. Now, he was nearly untouchable in the ring. Combination of fluid movement and reflexes coupled with sound defensive maneuvers and ring generalship proved impregnable at the height of his powers. And now, apart from his cat-like reflexes, Floyd was a defensive genius in every sense of the word, which is why he is widely considered the greatest fighter of his era, no doubt. Many fans remember Floyd for his trademark shoulder roll defense, which utilizes his lead shoulder to block and parry incoming fire. That's the shoulder roll, right? Block and parry incoming fire. James Toney was pretty good at it too. Mayweather never had trouble standing in the pocket, even with hard punches, because he was confident he could deflect those shots with precision, and he normally did most of the time. Now, Shane Mosley got this. But Floyd wasn't all defense, though. He was also one of boxing's greatest counter punchers, remember? Floyd made his opponents miss, and then he made them pay. Yeah. A lot of people, Floyd defense was so good, a lot of people forget about their counter punching. Boxing legends and their defining skills. Muhammad Ali is next. When boxing fans talk about the GOAT, they're usually talking about late great heavyweight legend Muhammad Ali, former Olympic gold medalist. He had established himself as a fighter to watch, even before he turned pro, you know. But when he turned pro, that's when he became a true cultural icon. Ali commanded attention in every fight, okay? He had a way around the microphone, composing poetic verses in press conferences on the fly. He was a master of getting into his opponent's head, to the point sometimes they were mentally broken by the time they got to the ring. And in the ring, Ali was a maestro of fighting, using superior footwork, ring generalship, and dazzling footwork to mesmerize his foes. The famous Ali Shuffle was his trademark, which he used to showboat and get the crowd going. Okay, Muhammad Ali. This is about the greatest boxing legends and their defining skills. And next up, I can't see what time it is Juan Manuel Marquez. Yeah, this one. It's got a couple more to go. We're winding down. Yeah. Juan Manuel Marquez. What was his defining skill? Now, he was a multiple division former world champion, Juan Manuel Marquez. It sounds like dynamite, I guess. He's on this list because of his expert counterpunching. He is arguably the greatest counterpuncher boxing has ever seen. Yeah, Juan Manuel Marquez. He's a member of the infamous Mexican trifecta. Marquez was no doubt the most successful of the three, which also included Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales, remember, the Mexican trifecta. He was trained by legendary Mexican coach Ignacio Nacho Beristain. Remember him? Marquez became a two-fisted beast who knew how to thread the needle and capitalize on openings unlike any other Mexican boxer in history. His epic quadrilogy with Manny Pacquiao proved Marquez improved his incredible counterpunching skills. Right. While others fell easily to the fiery Pacquiao, Marquez used his intelligence and cunning to figure out Pac-Man's style and make every fight of theirs an absolute war. And that last one was epic. So they had killed Manny. Next, boxing legends and their defining skills. The Rock. Susie Q, I love you. Susie Q. There's Susie Q. Remember? I introduced Susie Q to y'all Friday, remember? Anytime a man names his right hand, he's got to be a bad man. The Rock. Heavyweight legend. That's Susie Q bouncing off Joe Louis' head right there, see it? Okay. Rocky Marciano was one of the most popular pugilists of his era due to his exciting fighting style. Yeah, he had a fan-friendly fighting style. But we're going to see Saturday between Rolly and Pitbull. Caught in the Rocky style. Right there, come forward. No backup in neither one of them. Yeah. And Rocky was a fan's favorite of his era because of that style. He was considered the last great heavyweight from the golden era age of boxing. Now, what made Marciano so great was his unmatched conditioning, work ethic, and heart. He had chin and gas tank that kept him in every fight. You got chin and gas tank, you're going to be in every fight. You can be losing on the cards, but you're going to be in it. And when he won the championship, his chin and his gas tank kept him in it. In the 13th round, Jersey Joe slipped up. Susie Q slipped in. Jersey Joe went to sleep. He was still asleep after the referee finished counting. Okay? Yeah. Gas tank and chin. Ask Rashidi. Remember that fight with Villa? Villa got gas tank and chin. He hung around. Rashidi was winning. What happened in the 12th round, though? Gas tank and chin keep you in any fight. Yeah, now what made Marciano so great was his match conditioning, work ethic, and heart. He fought with tremendous passion and always left it all in the ring. But he also had one of the hardest punches ever recorded in the sport's history. His best punch, a very powerful overhand right, he nicknamed Susie Q. With it, he was able to finish 43 of his 49 opponents in the ring, good for an 87% knockout rate. That's one of the highest in heavyweight history, by the way. He's tied with the highest knockout rate in heavyweight championship fights with Joe Louis. Okay. Look how old Joe Louis looked on that picture. He don't even have no business in the ring. Damn near ball on the top. What is this man still doing boxing? But Rocky, it ain't his fault. Rocky just did what he's supposed to do. Marciano officially retired in 1956 at the age of 32 in order to spend more time with his family. He ended his career with a perfect record, 49-0, and he was, until Floyd went 50-0, he was the top. Now Ricardo Lopez is 51-0, but he's got a draw, so I guess you call that a blemish. I don't know. Last but certainly not least is the great pound for pound king, the man who pound for pound was created for, Sugar Ray Robinson, the original Sugar Ray. Okay. Multiple division world champion, Sugar Ray Robinson was without a doubt one of the greatest fighters of all time, arguably the greatest fighter of all time. Okay. Tim Layton in the building. Jory Fink, 757 in the building. Salute, gentlemen. You get no pictures today, Jory? I saw after I finished yesterday, you wasn't getting them. I wish you had told me during the show I could have did something. But yeah, I hope you get them today, Jory. Tim Layton in the building, hashtag JBT. What's up, Tim? Salute to you, my brother. Good to see you. We're finishing up with was talking about some legendary fighters and their defining skills. We're finishing up with Sugar Ray. Last, certainly not least. Now, he was a multiple division world champion, arguably, without a doubt, one of the greatest fighters of all time, arguably the greatest. He was lightweight, welterweight, and middleweight, and light heavyweight. Okay, he won titles at welterweight and middleweight. He went for the title at light heavyweight, but he was leading on all cards, but he succumbed to the heat. He couldn't finish the fight. He had to stop it in the 13th round. He lost it. But before that, a referee went down to the heat. So it was hot that day. So it was over 100 degrees in that ring. I don't remember where they were at. I think they were fighting outside somewhere. And he inspired many generations of fighters after him, many of whom are superstars today. Fellow legends, Joe Louis and even Muhammad Ali have said Robinson was the greatest fighter to have ever lived. At one point, Sugar Ray won 91 fights in a row, something that's unheard of today. You know, I ain't gonna have anybody fight 91 times today. He finished his career in 1965, having competed in nearly 200 fights, winning 174 of them. Now, his greatest technique was the uppercut. It was so devastating, he finished 109 of his opponents with the uppercut. He landed his uppercuts with precision, timing his foes as they came within punching range, and then putting them away. There you have it. 10 of the greatest boxing legends and their defining skills. All right. Now the podcast sports get ready to go into the history book. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. Man, I must be in somebody else's chat. Look at all those likes I got. I got to make, is this still Cast Sports? Or do I venture over into one of them big channels? I appreciate y'all though, man. Yes, I'm glad you see him, Joey. But yeah, I had to check, make sure I was on the right channel. All likes, man. Yeah, sports is growing, man. I'm going to be big potatoes one day. But I appreciate everybody, man, for rocking with me. We got Just Do Boxing coming up in about 10 minutes. And that's where I'm going to be after 4 o'clock. And we got, tomorrow is the profile, the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. And remember, I'm going to preview the fight. We got Oscar Valdez and Liam Wilson, Sinisa Estrada. I keep forgetting who she's fighting. But it's undisputed. It's another champion down there at 105. Yeah. So, and we got Top Rank, got a lot of the youngsters on the card, like Raymond Murray Tyler, Emiliano Vargas, up and coming young heavyweight star, Richard Torres. Yeah, it's going to be a great card. And then, you know what Saturday is, man. Rolly Marrero, Pitbull. Well, the headliner is Tim Tszyu and the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. But I'm waiting on Rolly and Pitbull. You know, that's the co-main. But, you know, once Keith got off of it, Rolly and Pitbull is now the main to me, man. Yes, Lisa Estrada is fighting Yocasta Valle. 2 champions at flyweight 105. They're going for Undisputed Friday. 10 rounds, 2 minutes. I hate that, man. Get over there with Jake Paul. He's giving up 12 rounds, 3 minutes. On his last card, Jake had a 4-round prospect fight, but it was 3 minutes. It was 3 4-minute rounds. 4 3-minute rounds, excuse me. It was 4 3-minute rounds, though. Jake ain't playing, man. Do like Amanda Serrano. She turned that green belt in and said, you can have it back, Mauricio. I don't need to be undisputed, but I'm not fighting no more 10-round championship fights. And she hasn't. She already had one 12-round, 3-minute fight and looked good doing it. Her and Danila Ramos, who she fought. They showed they had the stamina and the skills to go 12 rounds and the skills to look good while going 12 rounds. Great fight between those 2 ladies, man. Yeah. So another cast sports in the books though. Tune in tomorrow for Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. Okay, don't miss that one. You miss it, it's on you. All right. Tim Layton, hashtag JBT. Jury Finks, 757. D for the win. Melanie Queen, 27. Salute, Queen. Good to see you. The Rise Podcast, the Mighty Rise Podcast, the closer. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. Remo, hashtag Let's Talk Fashion, hashtag JBT. I'm so glad I had to follow him today. I'm glad he's once a week. I only got to follow him once a week. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Another great history channel. That's where the Boxtorian goes to get his history. Just Do Boxing, The Voice. Coming up in about 5 minutes, as a matter of fact. See y'all over there. BN Boxing News. Another Fire JBT channel. Mike Masick. Gregory Pratt. Hashtag JBT. AKA GP. Mike Grimm. Thomas Hill. Hashtag JBT. The mayor of YouTube Boxing. And Miss Cass. Hashtag JBT. The brains behind this Cass Sports organization. I couldn't do it without her. Salute to Miss Cass. I'm getting a lot of people now. I'm gonna have to stop reading these things at the end. It's getting to be a lot of people. I remember one time I was only reading like 4 or 5 people. But man, I really appreciate my supporters. The likes are looking good. The channel is growing. I'm part of this great thing we call the JBT. The Voice coming up in a couple minutes. I'm going over there. And I will see y'all in The Voice. Might see y'all in the Hangout, Rise Podcast. Yeah, the JBT day is just getting started, man. Just getting started. I'm part of the early part. We got Just Do Boxing, the Hangout again, and the Close of the Rise Podcast coming up. But right now, Cass Sports is going into the history books. Another one. Don't forget, tomorrow is the Eastern Assassin himself, Larry Holmes, for the profile. Don't miss that one. I got a good one planned for you. We're going to talk about the fights tomorrow night first. And then Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. A little bit about his life, his career, you know. And that's how we're going to do it tomorrow. Because if it's a weekday, 2 o'clock, it's Cass Sports About Story. And I really appreciate everybody, man. All these likes. Woo-wee. It went up again. Unbelievable. I appreciate everybody, man. This is Cass Sports The Box Story. Before I start crying. Everybody have a great day. I'm out of here. See y'all. Great finest. Salute. Good to see you, my brother. Everybody have a good one.